My Doctor Said What is a program for health information. Be careful that if you want treatment and diagnosis of disease, you need to go to your local healthcare provider. Hi, this is Dr. Frank with My Doctor Said What? The 22nd episode. Thanks again to my many listeners on all major platforms and my YouTube viewers. Hit subscribe. Support this for a healthier 23-24. Today I'd like to talk about a few things, some fun facts, and I want you to remember this. 3 easy things you can do for your health today. First of all, as we're getting near the end of summer, but please put on your sunscreen and apply it. And if you're like me and you're not real big on sunscreen, just don't like the way it feels and that, you still have to do it. Wear your hat, wear your sunglasses, protect your eyes, put it on your face for sure, reapply it regularly, and wear a rash guard or sun blocking fabric on the rest of you so you don't have to smear it all over. And make some pretty good looking rash guard stuff these days. So if you want to do that, and when you're out mowing, you can even wear the bandana type thing across your face with the sun guard. So those are important things. Skin cancer is a serious issue. You want to make sure that it's one of the leading causes of skin cancer mortality. So it's serious. And there's different types, and we'll get into that some other day, but you want to make sure that you're not overexposed. Pre-sunscreen babies like me have to really be careful, and you're going to end up getting spots all over of precancerous keratoses, which you have to treat, which is not fun. Get things like this on your hand, where you got Band-Aids, and you have to treat it. It's not pleasant, so take care of that. Second of all, test your house for radon. If you're in any kind of potential radon area, and I've said this many times before, please have your house tested for radon. Easy, simple test. If worse comes to worse, you can buy a decent monitor on Amazon for like $110, and you can spread it around, let your neighbors use it or rent it out or whatever you want to do with it. But make sure you test your house. And there's free test kits. A lot of home stores give you test kits. You can find it online. Just have your house tested, your basement. Follow the directions. Got to close it up. But radon can be like smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day. It's really a dangerous situation and an unnecessary risk for you and your kids. So don't delay. Go ahead and test your house for radon. You can easy fixed if you find radon. It's about $1,000 or a little more for a vent pipe that goes under your foundation. They put it in. The whole system is really easy to do. They do it all the time. It's quick, easy, doesn't make much of a mess. It just vents out all that poisonous radioactive gas from under your house that comes from natural different types of rock formations, and that's an easy way to not be exposed. You don't have to worry about outdoor exposures. It's when it's trapped inside that you have an issue. And last but not least, and I know this is a difficult one for many people, but if you smoke, stop. Please stop. If you ever talk to a pathologist or any healthcare provider, especially those that have done a lot of autopsies, it's just amazing the havoc that cigarette smoke racks on your body. 7,000 different chemicals that interact in so many different ways. We've known since 1964 that it's a terrible health risk. We knew before then, or we suspected, but we had absolutely hardcore evidence, and it affects almost every system, not just cancer, but heart issues, skin issues, COPD, anything you can think of. It's almost affects your eyes, your circulation, your every system, your kidney, your liver, your blood vessels, your nerves, everything. So please stop. It's a poison. I'm shocked, having spent years as a testifying expert in toxicology and pathology, that we still can legally sell tobacco products in this country. There is no a greater threat to health, and thank God smoking rates have declined, but please don't smoke and don't vape. Vaping is not a safe alternative. Vaping, again, you're injecting something directly, inhaling it into your lungs, and God only knows what's in it. And even the products that come from manufacturers, we know that there's terrible consequences of doing that over time. So please don't smoke or vape. I know that sounds prudish, but I'm just telling you for your health. Because what I'm going to talk about today is lifestyle diseases, things that you can prevent and that are directly related to your lifestyle. What we find is, number one, the number one health problem in America is obesity. And I know I harp on this too, kind of like the smoking, but obesity is a function of many things, but it's mostly from our more sedentary lifestyle. We think an hour in the gym every few days or a half hour is going to make up for the lack of any kind of physical work or movement that they did not too many years ago. That's not true. But any exercise is helpful. It really is. And an exercise is about a third of the equation. 2/3 of the equation is diet. You just need to learn to eat healthy. We eat for pleasure in the American society, many of us. And it's amazing. Well, 30% of us have food insecurity, and the other 70% waste 40% of our food. So it's amazing. The problem we could solve of hunger in America could be solved by not so much waste. And that's not doing, cleaning everything off your plate. First of all, simple thing, portion control. If it's bigger than your hand on the plate, then you're eating too much at a setting. Eat about every 4 hours. Don't snack in between. Keep your blood sugar balanced, and it'll prevent not only obesity with moderate exercise. When I say moderate, walk, get those steps in, walk at work, walk everywhere you are, stand a lot. Sitting is tough on you. Just sitting around doing video games and TV and movies and just sitting, it's not what your body was made for. You will definitely rust out before you wear out. So you want to keep moving, keep your joints fluid, keep everything going, and keep that weight down. You don't want the excess hormonal issues that causes between cortisols and estrogen overflows and all those things, increasing your heart attack risk, increasing your risk for cancers, different types of cancers, really making your lifestyle much tougher, leading to things that are things like asthma, allergies are related to obesity. Your immune system gets compromised. So that's one lifestyle disease that you can easily do something about, and you become pre-diabetic or diabetic from just the excess weight. The other thing is, everybody's built differently, and I've said this before, but take your height in inches. Me, I'm 72 inches tall, 6 feet, but in inches, I'm 72 inches. Divide that in half, that's 36 inches. I've got to make sure my waist doesn't get above 36 inches. If you're 5 feet tall, 60 inches tall, divide that in half, 30 inches. Your waist can't get above 30 inches. You want your height divided by 2, your waist to not exceed that. That's really important because belly fat is the type of subcutaneous fat that really causes health issues. And don't get freaked out on nutrition. There are healthy fats like salad dressings and avocados and those from different nuts and beans combined with fiber in that. And I'm a big advocate of the DASH diet and the Mediterranean diet. If you look those up, it's really simple eating, a lot of fiber, a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, a little bit of lean red meat, chicken, seafood, lean meats, but a lot of plant-based foods. And those can be great foods, not expensive foods, and you gotta have portion control. I know how many calories I use a day. As I've got older, it's gone down and down and down as your metabolism slows. Mine has slowed tremendously. I used to burn over 3,000 calories a day in a normal day, and now I can't exceed about 2,200. So I need to know And you don't have to be a scientist or physician or healthcare provider in any way to calculate that out. There's all kind of resources available online. But if you just take your hand and keep your portions below that and eat healthy foods and have some reasonable exercise, it's pretty simple. You'll be amazed how well you do. Well, go watch a 1950s movie or some of the old World War II clips of just the ships being sent off in that. Nobody, I mean, we would consider them skinny today. People were much, much thinner. It was a very different, more active lifestyle with less processed foods and much smaller portions of food. Food was looked at as something you did to maintain your body and not as just something you do because you're emotional or you're just eating because you're bored sitting around. You have to change your relationship with food. I know that's really difficult. The other one is sun and fun. I love to be outside. I think it's important. It's part of the exercise, but as I said, have some sun protection. Make sure you're good about that. Also, watch overheating. We've had a really, really hot summer in most of the U.S. You've got to watch heat stroke, heat exhaustion. If you feel yourself at all not sweating properly or just start feeling bad, nauseous, you get a headache, get inside, get where there's air conditioning or in shade, and make sure you drink plenty of water or Gatorade and that you stay hydrated. That's really important. Going into fall, we'll have a big shift, and the big shift there is allergies, wonderful allergies. And the FDA's just come out with some news about many of the decongestants you've been using are absolutely worthless, and we've known that for a long time. Some of the older ones, because of drug abuse, such as Sudafed, you got to sign away your first child to get it, but it was very effective. Talk to your healthcare provider, talk to your pharmacist. There are good alternatives for decongestants, and immune therapy. If you really have severe allergies, then you need to see your healthcare provider, see an allergist, have them look at you, test you, and see if you need some immune therapy where they give you small doses of what you're allergic to and build your immune response, actually reduce your immune response. An allergy is just an abnormal response to something your body should not have an immune response to. That's why you get things like welts, hives, have difficulties breathing. And what you don't want to do is have untreated allergies to the point where you get something like asthma. And that becomes a potentially lifelong respiratory condition. So you want to make sure you take care of those allergies early and that you take care of your exposures. I'm highly allergic to poison ivy, so I avoid it like the plague. Well, you can't avoid everything. There's certain things, and allergies can change over time. A big change is usually puberty, change in hormones for both male and female. Sometimes you will, quote, grow out of an allergy, but it's where your immune system adjusts and isn't so sensitive to it. Or when you hit menopause, you can also in your 40s and 50s become less or more sensitive to certain things in the environment that you have immune responses to that are inappropriate. The other thing is a good diet, good exercise keeps your immune system in tip-top condition, so your white blood cells understand better what they should be attacking and what they shouldn't be attacking, and so it reduces allergic symptoms many times or the severity of allergies. You need to keep that in mind. Well, you only have one life to live. You might as well have the highest quality of life that you can, and you do that by living healthy. And let me say this: there comes a point. We do a lot of dumb things when we're young, and you're very prone to accidents, which you have to watch. It's a major factor in childhood and early late teen deaths as accidents, and that's a shame. A lot of those are preventable, some are not, just a part of growing up. But if you make it through those ages, then we get into the high school, college ages where we start having bad eating habits, bad sleeping habits. Sleep is very important for recovery. Exercise, diet, and sleep are what make a healthy life. You can definitely work on those factors and have a much more enjoyable life. You'll have a much better response to stress. You'll have a calmer life. It will affect everything you do. You will find that you will have a much better quality of life and a much longer life if you look at those things. Again, as I say many times, is genetics loads the gun, but it's the environment that pulls the trigger. So you can't control your genetics, but you can control your environment and how you respond to it. So if you eat right, sleep right, and exercise, you're going to find that you can really minimize your chance for chronic diseases, for you'll have a much better immune system that has less unusual responses to allergens and better responses to things like colds or COVID or flu or things we all run into and have to deal with. And that's a wonderful thing. Less sickness is a much better situation, much better. No one likes to be sick, much better quality of life. And last but not least, osteoporosis or bone fractures, especially in women and also in men as we age. What you've got to do throughout your life is do some kind of resistance training. For those that walk or swim or do a lot of those things, yoga, Pilates, those are wonderful and they are great and you should do them as long as you can. But you also should have some resistance training, whether that's a little set of dumbbells you have at home or whatever. It doesn't have to be heavy, doesn't have to be straining, but that you're constantly using some kind of resistance training. And that will help you healthy bones along with a decent calcium intake, a decent vitamin D intake. That's why I'm a big dairy person. I'm not into the dairy substitutes. Low-fat dairy is a wonderful thing. High-fat dairy is like any high-fat food is not a wonderful thing. But you'll never get the enzymes, the amino acid structure, all the things you need that you find in cow's milk or goat's milk or whatever milk you like. You won't find those in almond milk or oat milk or any of the plant-based substitutes. Those are not milks. So even though they call them that, they're not as good for you. If you have lactose intolerance, you can buy lactose-free dairy products, or you can take something like Lactaid. And so you need to talk to your healthcare provider about that. But these are simple, easy things you can do for your lifestyle. Last thing I'll say is, for a number of reasons, the increase in potential for accidents, the increase in chances for developing diabetes because of obesity, increased calorie intake, and increase in overall toxicity to your body, you need to limit your alcohol use. I know this is even less popular than talking about smoking, but limit your alcohol use. No more than 1 drink a day, and if you can do without that, it's even better. There's a lot of studies, but if you boil them all down and you're really objective about it, I mean, ethanol we know is toxic to the human body. So, not to be the party pooper, but it's just something you need to control. Watch carefully. If you're going to drink, red wines are the best way to go because at least you get some flavonoids. It's kind of like chocolate. It's got some downsides and some upsides, but if you eat dark chocolate instead of the others, you'll at least get flavonoids, and if you can keep your calories in check, then you've got some benefit. With that, I'll say have a healthy 2023 and 24. This is Dr. Frank on all major podcast platforms. Have a wonderful day. Remember, send your comments and questions to Dr. Frank at mdswpod@gmail.com.